Hello everyone, my name is Mansamusa and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back with another video in Advance Wars by Web. And to be honest with you guys, this was going to be a one-turn video, another continuation in that series, but I decided to cover the whole game today, so we're doing a standard replay analysis video instead. And the reason for that is I was looking over, games the past few days, and I was looking for like really exciting turns, stuff that was like really game-breaking, and I just wasn't able to find much. And then I saw this game between Tesla246 and F-Tiger, who we'll go into in a little bit here, and I saw a really exciting turn this game that I thought would be good for that series. But then I realized, I may as well just cover the entire game. I think the entire game had a lot of very interesting things going on through it that I think kind of add more context to the super powerful turn that's in this game itself. So I decided to cover the entire replay analysis. Just kind of going quickly into these players, obviously we have Tesla246 in another replay. I know I've covered him before on this channel, and I think on this very map, in fact, in a game against Starflash. And obviously he's on a lot of other channels as well, but he's just like a really exciting player. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Whenever I go watch Tesla246 games, there's always a bunch of really cool stuff going on, so he finds his way into these videos a lot. Talking about his opponent, F-Tiger. F-Tiger is a very strong player. I think he's around a 1300 elo player, and he's also plays a lot of Global League. I think he has around 1,000 to 1,100 total games played in Global League. He's always has like at least 10 games going at a time, so he's someone you will run into often when you're playing. I think I've played him at least once, maybe even twice, so he's someone I'm very familiar with as well. And if you're playing kind of in this 12 to 1400 range elo on the site, you probably have run into him as well. Moving on from the players, just talking about the map really quickly. Again, this game is on Bangalore, and Bangalore is one of my favorite maps. It's a really exciting mixed-based map. Like I talked about on the last time that we reviewed a game on this map, these two central bases are very exposed to infantry on either side. It can very quickly be trapped and then fall in these types of games. So that's a very common strategy that you'll see on this map. The other thing you'll see sometimes is an HQ rush. Because there's no black boat or anything protecting the HQ, it can fall under threat. It's a little bit hard to pull this off, especially when players are kind of better at the game or around similar elo. People generally protect their HQs a bit better, so this HQ rush strategy doesn't happen as much, or at least isn't as successful in most games. So we'll probably see more of this HQ rush scenario, the base race rush scenario more than the HQ rush, but we'll have to see this game. To be honest with you, I reviewed this game probably a day ago, so I don't remember all the details. I do remember there's a very powerful turn, obviously, that I wanted to talk about, but it's going to be a little bit as new for me as it is for y'all as well. With all that being said, before we hop into this game, I just want to take the opportunity to thank y'all for checking out the videos and supporting the channel. We just recently crossed 50 subs on the channel, which was a really great goal for me, and we're on our way to 100 now. It's my goal to reach that by the end of summer. But in general, I just want to thank you guys for checking out the videos. I know there's so many great content creators in the space, people I'm really big fans of as well, so any support you guys can give, whether that's subscribing or just watching the videos and interacting, I'm very thankful for, because again, there's really great content in the space, and I appreciate any of you guys just taking the time out to watch my videos as well. So with all that being said, thank you for checking out the videos, and let's get right into this game. Tesla246 versus F-Tiger on Bangalore. We start this game like most games. We're just going to go through the infantry turns very quickly. Again, not much happens here. There's not a lot of important decisions. I guess we'll take this opportunity to talk a little bit more about the channel. Let me guys know in the comments whether you want more of these full replay analysis videos, or whether you want me to do more stuff in the one-turn series, as well as any other ideas you have for the channel that you want me to cover. I'm always looking for new stuff to put on this channel, whether it's Advanced Wars content, kind of different shades of that, or stuff for other games as well. I know Civ 7 just came out recently, and I talked about doing a video there. That's still in the plans, some ideas I'm still doing there. But if there's anything else, just let me know. I'm always open to new ideas. As we roll in here to day 3 for F-Tiger, still not much is going on. We do see some early choices that you have on this map, particularly in these corner bases here for both players. You kind of really have 3 lanes of attack that you want to do. You want to capture these 2 cities and contest this comm tower here. That's one idea. The other is to put pressure towards these 3 cities and try to capture there, and then the final one is sending infantry up to the north to try to get cities in the center. You obviously can't achieve all 3 of these goals at once. You're going to have to give in one way or the other, so it's always interesting on this map to see what the players choose, whether they're prioritizing this pressure of the comm tower, some of the income down here in the south, or center pressure towards this base. We can see F-Tiger is going more towards the left here, towards these 3 cities, trying to focus on the income, and a little bit more to the north as well, and kind of ignoring these 2 right cities and the comm tower. And Tesla is making a similar choice. He's actually kind of ignoring the income strategy with these 3 cities to the north and focusing more on the comm tower in the center. So like I said, you can really achieve kind of 2 of these 3 goals, but not all 3 at the start of the game. But we keep on rolling out for F-Tiger, and we see the first vehicle build of the match. He's building a tank up here in the northern base. I think that's very strong. Again, you want to pressure the center base because it is locked in by these mountains. So this tank offers him good mobility to do that. It can also front switch to the center if necessary to attack these infantry. So I like that build from F-Tiger, and we roll into day 4 here for Tesla. We get some more central properties captured by Tesla. We see a good, interesting choice here as well, in that he's not actually going for these cities here. We saw in the previous Tesla game when the roles were flipped and he was this northern base player, that his opponent, Starflash, went for some of these captures to the right and around the city here by the mountains, and Tesla was able to quickly kind of turn those cities pretty fast and kind of get a good advantage over Starflash in that way. So Tesla was kind of going for a different route and just kind of ceding these properties to F-Tiger, to the red player here, and going more for these central properties because they're actually going to be harder to immediately flip. So I kind of like that strategy for Tesla. It's definitely something that I haven't done on this map, or I haven't seen as much on this map. Normally players do go for this mountain city from this base, so we'll see how it works out for him in this game. We also see a battlecopter built from the airport down here in the south. Again, I do like this. I actually maybe even like this more than the tank build because it pressures this base in 2 different ways, right? You're going to have to build now a anti-air from this base to address the battlecopter. But as soon as you build an anti-air, Tesla is probably going to build a tank, and then you're really kind of overwhelming this base from building infantry because this base wants to build a lot of infantry to capture all these cities in the area, but now you're going to have to build an anti-air to address the battlecopter, and then a tank to address the tank that's addressing your anti-air. So it's kind of like those triangle units coming back and forth, but essentially what it means is that 2 units, 2 non-infantry units are going to have to be built from your weak side base, which is already something that's in danger of falling and you don't really want to overinvest into in general, especially if you're going for a base flip scenario. So I like the, in very long-term, long form there, I like the battlecopter build maybe even more than the tank build by F-Tiger. But we see more infantry builds going out. Again, just now, Tesla's starting to address these 3 cities down here in the south, and F-Tiger is putting a little bit more pressure there than his opponent. We see that even more here with 3 infantry coming now for these cities in the corner and already starting to cap this one, where Tesla, again, is just maybe a turn behind there. And again, focusing more on these comm towers than F-Tiger is. We see the anti-air build to address the battlecopter. Notably, he could have probably ignored this and built an infantry here and just built a battlecopter of his own if he wanted to do a strategy like that. I think he would have to, he would have to base skip somewhere, so he probably would not have done that. But it could have been an interesting idea to kind of go for an angle of max pressure for base scenario. He didn't do it. He went for the anti-air strategy, and we'll see how Tesla responds. So we get some more good captures out here, and Tesla actually decides to front shift his battlecopter away from the central base, which is kind of an interesting play. I like it. He's putting some more pressure on these infantry caps, trying to interrupt a few if he can, and just kind of making this anti-air obsolete a bit because now it's going to have to chase him, and again, you can always build a tank here to respond to this anti-air, so I kind of like it. It's making, it's essentially making that anti-air purchase a little premature from F-Tiger. Something that DJs will tell you sometimes is when you have, especially in mixed base scenarios, when your opponent builds a battlecopter, wait just an extra turn to build that anti-air to see where it goes, because sometimes the entire strategy of the battlecopter build is to force you to build an anti-air and then run away from it, which can be especially effective on maps like this where there's a lot of rivers or unpassable tiles like mountains or ocean tiles where the battlecopter can easily get away. So we see Tesla move out more of his infantry, again starting to pressure more towards this comm tower area and a little less aggressive towards these cities than F-Tiger was. And we see a tank built here to respond to the tank pressure that F-Tiger has. And yeah, not much there. We also see some more central pressure here by Tesla. He's trying to get to these center cities before F-Tiger, so we already see kind of the different strategies in this game. F-Tiger going more for the southern properties, and Tesla going for more of the center ones. F-Tiger goes ahead and gets the comm tower for free. That's these comm towers pretty much never contested by the opponent until late in the game, so he gets the early advantage there. Tesla has not started his yet. Because of this extra power, he gets a nice 7-6 engagement here, interrupting the city down in the south, and also blocks off the city, allowing him to capture it for free as well. F-Tiger goes ahead and brings down his anti-air to address the battlecopter. This is pretty much his only play, but again, a tank is going to be coming here to address the anti-air, so it's kind of a little bit of a lose situation there for F-Tiger, in my opinion. We see another tank built to address this tank here to get these infantry caps, and he actually front shifts his other tank to the center to address some of these central captures and dominant space positioned by Tesla. I don't necessarily love this though. Yes, you're sitting on a city, but these two cities are already going to be captured, and that's kind of the main goal of Tesla in the first place. So you're really not doing much in terms of pressure here. I guess you're kind of preventing this city up here in the north, but you know, long term, that's not going to be something you can super hold on to, I think, especially because this base can build mechs that can easily defend that city, and with a single tank, you're really not going to be doing much. But again, you know, I think Tesla has already kind of outpositioned F-Tiger in a pretty interesting way, where his battlecopter has better positioning than the anti-air, and these tanks up here in the north, they're just not getting the value and the pressure that they really need to yet. I think a battlecopter build is pretty necessary to apply some of that pressure, force out an anti-air, which then these tanks can respond to in a better fashion. But like I said, Tesla gets his captures in the center, which the tank was too slow to interrupt. He starts capturing this comm tower. This infantry can interrupt if it wants, but we'll see how much F-Tiger wants to commit. This battlecopter blocks off the infantry from attacking this infantry any further, which is nice. We get some more captures around the map. We go for this capture of the comm tower as well. F-Tiger can interrupt it, but he will be interrupting his own city to do so, so he probably won't, but we'll have to see how aggressive he wants to be in stopping Tesla's comm towers. Sorry you guys for the cut there, the map kind of freaked out on me there, so I had to come back in and fix everything. Not sure exactly where I'm going to edit back in, but talking about these comm towers for a quick second, we see that Tesla is capturing both comm towers here, and it's going to be an interesting choice whether F-Tiger wants to interrupt his own city cap to stop this. Obviously, Adder with 2 comm towers is a lot scarier because he has that 20% roll, which can allow him to interrupt captures on cities with the guaranteed 2-hit KO. And if he only gets one of those comm towers, he can still reach that with his power, which he's going to get quite often. So really the goal here for F-Tiger should be to interrupt both if possible, but definitely at least one. You don't want Adder to have that guaranteed 2-hit KO at all times, whether he has power or not. So it's going to be an interesting choice. He either has to do it from this infantry here, which is already captured the city, so it might be the better choice, especially with the anti-air in the area. But again, this tank is now defending that comm tower cap. Or he's going to have to interrupt his own capture of the city here to interrupt this more contested comm tower. So it'll be interesting to see what F-Tiger chooses to do. But we continue on with Tesla's turn. He goes ahead and actually builds an artillery from the center base, or the weak base here. And I actually disagree with this. I think building artillery from your weak side is pretty weak in general, and I especially don't like it on this map because of how trapped this base can be. And generally, the more trapped you can be, the more dire the situation can be with multiple troops coming in from multiple different angles at a time. The worse artillery is because, you know, as an important point for all indirects, it can only shoot at one thing at a time, right? So if you have, you know, 1 or 2 things in an area, an artillery can be great at denying access to the base or any important properties in the area. But when you have 5 or 6 things all coming down on you at once, the artillery can only shoot at one thing at once, and it can't counterattack, so it's just going to shoot at that one thing and then die. So I really don't like artillery on weak side in general, especially on mixed base maps and especially on Bangalore. But obviously Tesla is a very good player, so I'm not going to underestimate it at all. I'm going to be curious to see how it uses their artillery in a way that's more beneficial than I can imagine. So we'll see what Tesla does. He moves out his infantry again, still trying to capture these 3 cities. It's honestly a little bit delayed at this point to get these. You can see that F-Tiger has more progress in that area, but then again, like I've been saying, Tesla has more progress in the center, so it's all gives and takes from that point. F-Tiger goes out to capture some of these properties here that Tesla has essentially allowed him to get by going more for the center. He does, in fact, interrupt his own cap here on the city to interrupt the comm tower. Again, very interesting. He's denying himself income, but I do think it's important to interrupt at least one of these comm towers. I imagine he's not going to throw away this infantry at this point then, because the tank, again, is covering it, and he's already interrupted this one, which is really the main goal. You didn't need to necessarily interrupt both, but definitely at least one. Yeah, so we do see, I thought for a second there he's actually going to interrupt the comm tower, but he's just actually killing off an infantry instead. A bit interesting, if you're going to sacrifice the infantry anyway, maybe you should interrupt the comm tower and not just go for a kill. It's kind of a unit count versus power discussion there, but I don't know. I mean, you're definitely not preventing this comm tower in the long run, so I kind of get, you know, not going for it completely. But also you're just throwing away an infantry in the process anyway, and you're trading essentially a full HP infantry for 6 HP infantry, so maybe not the best play there. So a little curious play there by F-Tiger. He does put his anti-air closer to this area as well, but again, the tank is going to be pretty much a hard counter for that. And we see a tank built down here in the south and one up in the north as well. Again, this tank can come to the center and pressure this base, and this one as well. Moving on to Tesla's turns, we get some more caps over here on the left. The battlecopter actually puts itself in a position where it can get kind of semi-trapped pretty easily, but it goes for the interrupt here on the city. The tank gets the free hit here on the infantry, and its other infantry cleared out, so again it was a trade of a 6 HP infantry for a full HP infantry, so probably not the best deal for F-Tiger. We do see some more caps. He is allowing the F-Tiger to get this comp tower cap, not interrupting his own city, so kind of the opposite of what his opponent did. We see the artillery here, and I kind of now get the purpose for it. He's going to defend it with his tanks a little bit better, and then try to use it to prevent this capture of the city here by the mountains, so not a bad play. Let's see how long he can hold on to it for, though. We get some more captures in the center here by Tesla. He has complete dominance of this area. I mean, look, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 properties here, and generally you would expect these, like, these 3 along the river to kind of go split, so 1, 2, 3 here and 1, 2, 3 here. But Tesla is actually getting this one. In addition, he's getting this one here where F-Tiger hasn't even started his on the other side. So definitely has more presence in the center, and he's actually getting pretty good presence in the south as well. He's getting this property now, which I believe, yeah, cannot be interrupted by anything. So he's getting kind of more progress in the area that F-Tiger had an advantage in. He's really only missing out on this city now. So overall, I do think Tesla has had a better income phase than F-Tiger. We do see these infantry come out here and kill Tesla's 5 HP infantry on the city. I'm just going back here for a second. Yeah, Tesla actually ran away here, which I don't think was the smartest. I guess he put it in range of this tank to fend off, but you are just sacrificing these infantry to the other one, the 8 HP infantry on the plains that was previously here. So instead of going for the 5-8 engagement and just trying to do some damage, he just kind of allows his own infantry to die. I think again, he's trying to have the tank come out and finish this infantry. Infantry gets a cute little shot here on the battlecopter. I'm not sure super the reason why there. Again, you're just kind of sacrificing some value there. Not a great engagement per se. We do get an interrupt here, which I like. Again, the anti-air is now doing a better job actually having impact because it's running away from this tank and addressing some of the infantry in the area, so I do like that move by F-Tiger. He brings his own tank down in the area to try to pressure the double tank and artillery build here. Does finally build a battlecopter. I think this was kind of very much overdue in this area, so hopefully he can start to address some of the tanks in the area by Tesla. We see an infantry build and then a nice placement of the infantry. I always like this, putting it in front of the base, forcing all of his troops to go left kind of into this meat grinder, and allowing F-Tiger to have some positioning here to capture both the comm tower and some of the cities that Tesla has already captured. Again, this is also why I did not like that running away from the 8 HP infantry. I think you should have just sacked it into it, because now you just allowed your infantry to die for free. This tank can no longer come around and attack that infantry. The move planner still says it can, but it's not realizing this infantry is in front here. So yeah, I don't like that move by Tesla. I do think he should have just sacrificed into this 8 HP earlier. We do see the 9 HP battlecopter finish off the infantry on the city. The artillery attack the 2 HP here on the plains, interrupting the or trying to interrupt the base block here. The tanks kind of backing up a little bit, kind of respecting the pressure here that F-Tiger's putting on, especially with the battlecopter coming in. I'm still just trying to hold on to the base in general. An interrupt post facto on the comm tower cap. I think he's probably going to try to flip this, or that's what he's angling for, maybe bringing the tank over as well to help in that process. Infantry coming in, clearing out, and now capturing this city as well. So again, I think Tesla is having a much better income state than F-Tiger is. He's also now threatening this city as well as this one. Brings his tank out to sit on the HQ, very strong. Builds a mech, makes her very strong from this base. Again, they can get to the center here pretty easily, or come to these mountains and potentially threaten something like the anti-air. We see another tank build in the center flippable base over here, and another battlecopter over here on the left. Moving to F-Tiger's turn, he's starting to capture some of these properties on the right, including a flip and the comm tower cap. He brings his anti-air back to the left here, abandoning some of the pressure that he had. Again, the tank was starting to cover some of these units, so I do approve of that, and now addressing the battlecopter that was built. Goes for the engagement here, 2 HP hit, or 8 HP hit here on the infantry on the plains, but now puts himself in artillery range, was a bit questionable. I guess the battlecopter is protecting here and can go to the city, but an anti-air is probably going to come in for Tesla. So it's kind of interesting to see how Tesla responds to this and also the aggression. I think this is a bit early for F-Tiger. Obviously, you want to try to flip this base, but I don't think he has the power yet to really do it. I think he should have waited a few more turns, try to capture some of these flippable cities from Tesla. It feels a bit premature to go in like this. You're overextending a bit into the space, in my opinion. Even more so now, this is definitely questionable. I do like kind of this idea that we talked about earlier. This artillery has too many targets, right? You can attack this tank, and this tank. It can only attack one of them, though. But there's still plenty of pressure here for Tesla. This tank is going to get put up to 7 HP. He's going to have a power coming in pretty soon. This tank is still fully healthy as well as his artillery. So definitely a lot of damage can be done. This tank probably doesn't want to attack from the base, but it's going to wrap around to attack the 8 HP tank here. And this infantry is going to clear out this one on the mountain as well. So this is very aggressive by F-Tiger. We're going to have to see how it works out for him. The other reason why I don't super like this is you're still waiting one more turn for your comm tower. Like, I would have liked this delayed just one more turn, bring in some more reinforcements, maybe another battlecopter, another tank, and then do it with 2 comm towers. No, it's actually 3 comm towers. It would have been way stronger, and I think it could have been more devastating, especially because Tesla is still 2 full turns away from his own comm tower down here in the south. We'll see how it works out for F-Tiger, though. He does start some more flips down here towards the center as well, so he's pressuring Tesla's income in a very strong way here. Builds a mech as well, kind of copying Tesla's build to protect some of his troops in this area. And we pass it back to Tesla. So now Tesla's base is very much under threat. His power is almost ready. We're going to see how he has to deal with this. He goes ahead and gets some caps down here in the south. Again, these are going to be very hard to interrupt. Obviously, on mixed base, you do see a lot of city flipping, but this map and this match, even more so than I'm used to. There's pretty much city flips going on every single turn here, so it's kind of hard to keep up with. And we see another one over there on the left, and we see Ssidewinder popped. So how is Tesla going to utilize this power to its maximum efficiency? He goes ahead and kills off the tank on the plains with the power-boosted artillery. This is very strong. I think it was allowed by the power itself. It also allows this tank space to interrupt some of these caps down here on the right. We see the tanks clear out some of F-Tiger's weak tanks in the area, and again, we can see just how kind of premature this attack was. Right now, there's only 1 tank in this area. This tank's still kind of out of position and a battlecopter, and Tesla still has, 2.5 healthy tanks and a fully healthy artillery. The best thing that F-Tiger has going for him here is all this infantry positioning, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 captures going on, which is pretty strong. It's going to be hard for Tesla to interrupt all of that, but I still think this attack was just a tad bit early. We do see the interrupt here of the city flip on this city. The battlecopter comes out and interrupts this city as well. I think that was, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, that was allowed by Ssidewinder, so that was a good use of the power. More infantry coming out. We do see the anti-air built to address this battlecopter. And I think in the long term, Tesla is going to be pretty fine here. He may not get some of these cities back for a while, which is kind of the important part of F-Tiger's attack here, but he's definitely denying the base flip for a while at least. So we'll see how aggressive Tesla is over here on the left to put pressure in on his own base flip attempt. We do see another tank come out to reinforce this area. We see another similar kind of trapping mechanism here by Tesla's infantry. Again, the move planner is not showing it well, but this anti-air is blocked in. It can only go down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so it cannot interrupt this city yet. It's going to have to clear out some of these infantry, or this infantry itself can sacrifice in and essentially kill itself to interrupt. So we'll have to see what F-Tiger does. We see a tank down here built in the south, one up in the north. And we pass it back to F-Tiger on day 9. Before we hop into day 9 for F-Tiger, I think it is now a good time to do a quick, breather and intermission, check in on the game stats itself, and see how things are going. So we see over here on the unit stats that F-Tiger has 23 units to Tesla's 33. That is a massive advantage for Tesla. Having a 10 unit count over your opponent is very, very strong, obviously. It is a little bit less bad than it seems because this is a 4-base mixed base map with an airport, so obviously you can pump out a lot of units at a time, but being 10 down regardless of any match you're in is pretty bad, especially when the units are like 20 to 30. If it was 40 to 50 or something like that in the late game, it wouldn't be as bad, but this is looking pretty grim. We also see a unit value discrepancy. He's down about, what is that, like 25k? When his income is around 23k, that is definitely a sign that you're down. Generally in an even game, you want to be down at the start of your turn around half of your daily income. So if your income is around 20, let's say 22,000, at the start of your turn, if you're down 11k in unit value, that's about where you should be at in a pretty standard game, or one that's going pretty evenly. If you're doing better than that, then congratulations, you're winning. If you're at a point where you're down basically your entire income value at the start of your turn, you're definitely losing the game at this point. And he's also down 4k income, 21k to 25k. So F-Tiger is already kind of losing this game, but if we look at board state, and board state is obviously a very important factor into this equation, we do see some positive things for F-Tiger. Obviously, he's going to get 1, 2, 3 cities here, 4 cities here, including a flip. So it's going to have some positive impacts there, but there's a lot of things that it has to interrupt as well, right? We have a city flip here, a city flip here, a city flip here, more captures elsewhere that Tesla is doing as well. I'm sorry, another city flip here. This map is just crazy with how many city flips that are going on. And then we have F-Tiger capturing this comm tower and Tesla capturing this comm tower, both of which are not going to be interrupted. So we're going to need a pretty powerful turn here for F-Tiger. I wouldn't be surprised if he pops his normal power here, his beatdown instead of his block rock, because he kind of needs a power spike here, or else he's probably not going to do too well in this game, but we're going to have to see what F-Tiger chooses to do. So we do see the capture of the comm tower and the first city flip. We see the tank coming down, some more captures here. He starts to capture this city here as well. He's probably going to stop the anti-air from addressing it, or I don't think he actually really has a unit in place to do so, so we're going to have to see how he intends to get this through. He does get a nice tank hit here, but again, there's more tanks in the area and still this artillery to threaten that tank, so we're going to have to see kind of, he's committing more to this attack that, again, I think was premature and is not strong enough to really have impact, so I don't necessarily agree with this decision. He does get the interrupt of this city flip here. Kills off some infantry, clears the way for his anti-air to interrupt this cap, so he's doing pretty well, kind of denying some of this income. We see a tank built up in here in the north, an anti-air to address this battlecopter, which is kind of trapped in this area now. It's not going to have an easy way out. If we look, I guess he can come back to this tile here and to get out, but it's going to be kind of slow. I ideally kind of think it wants to wrap around here and provide some defense, but there's a lot of infantry in the way to block it. We see an infantry engagement there. The anti-air coming in to the city tile the infantry was on to clear out another infantry. Mech coming in to defend. This mech is now getting pretty good value already. We do see the battlecopter come in to attack the artillery, so this is something that we kind of suspected would happen. And this does kind of put this anti-air in kind of a precarious situation, which I like, right? Either this artillery is going to have to shoot and block its space that the anti-air wants to use to attack the battlecopter, and it's going to have to base block, or this artillery is just not going to get its turn. It's going to have to go to a city to kind of heal itself, to open up the tile for the anti-air to attack. That's probably what's going to happen. That's probably what we're going to see Tesla do. But again, this is why I tend to not really like artillery on the weak side, right? Its main goal was to deny the city. It didn't do that. Or get good attacks on the tank. It's gotten one attack on the tank. So in terms of cost value there, it's really hasn't earned itself in, and now it's becoming more of a headache where it's not going to get additional value, and it's going to take up more funds to heal itself in order for this this anti-air to attack the battlecopter. And it's just kind of going to be kind of a weak target for this base flip scenario this entire time. It's again why I don't like artillery on the weak side. It probably would have been better as a tank. So we see F-Tiger's tank come in here, get another nice infantry engagement here. Again, he's trying to pressure this area more, but now bring in units from the south to assist these units from the north. Some more infantry engagements. He is allowing this city flip as well as this one down here in the south, so we are going to see that for Tesla. But at the end of his turn, he's neutralized things a bit. The economy is now at 24 to 24, but again, that's going to change very quickly. And he's now just barely ahead on unit value, still behind on unit count though, so he's still definitely losing this game at this point. But the main benefit he has at this point now is his power charge. He is going to get his superpower before Tesla can get another power, so we'll have to see how big that power spike is. Going in for Tesla though, he does get a lot of the city flips here, including the comm tower. Goes for the attacks here on the infantry, does manage to kill it off. Gives another nice infantry engagement here to just, again, weaken unit count for F-Tiger. Gets an interrupt to the city here with his tank, and finishes it off with his infantry. Builds another tank down here in the south, again trying to pressure this base over here on the left. Goes for the engagement here on the mountain to attack the tank on the base, and again it's the same scenario where Actually, the anti-air can wrap around to attack this battlecopter, and I don't believe sorry, I almost said Starflash. Tesla has a way to block that, so it's not exactly the same scenario as over here on the right. Tesla moves out more of his infantry, actually decides to hide his battlecopter here. Again, I do think he wants to reinforce it to the north, but he is trying to get it out of the range of this anti-air. I do think if he was wanting to do that, though, it's probably smarter to just bring it back to this tile here, then maybe over here towards the left towards this tank, and then wrap it around like this. You're just kind of putting yourself in danger by putting it all by all these symmetry, but we'll see if he has a plan there for that battlecopter. He does go ahead and get the kill of the battlecopter on the mountain, putting F-Tiger pretty much exactly out of superpower range, though, which is a bit interesting. Builds the medium tank to help defend the space even more. Kills off the tank on the plains, and passes his turn back to F-Tiger. Moving into day 10 here for F-Tiger, and we have a very interesting power scenario on his turn, right? We have the superpower ready for F-Tiger. He is very much in the hole here, so he's going to have a very powerful turn. Like I said previously, his attack over here on this base is looking a little weak, potentially not as strong as it could have been if he waited a little bit longer. And now this base is coming under threat as well. There's a bunch of infantry in the area, as well as 2 tanks and a battlecopter, and another tank coming in. So we'll have to see how F-Tiger chooses to address these problems. He goes ahead and does in fact pop his block rock. And we see the attacks here. First of all, he blocks the medium tank in on the base, which is, again, very strong play. Continues his capture on the city. He pretty much is guaranteed to get his flip now. Goes for the attack here on the anti-air, knocking it down to 2 HP. Tries to finish it off with the infantry. Does not get the roll, which has been unfortunate. Fully blocks in the medium tank now with this anti-air on the road, but this is probably going to be pretty easy to knock off, especially with the artillery in the area. But even if that artillery dies, the tanks in the area can probably finish off this anti-air on the road. We see a capture here of the city up in the north, which is going to be pretty hard to interrupt. We see the anti-air coming out, both simultaneously trying to attack the space even further and protecting against this battlecopter. Again, why I didn't like the move of this battlecopter down here in the corner. I think it should have gone towards the center. We see the killing off of Tesla's battlecopter here on the mountain, and then the attacks here towards some of his central tanks. We do see a medium tank built on the weak base as well. Again, just like with the medium tank here, I do think this can be blocked in pretty easily, especially if Tesla pops his power. He can bring his infantry out here and block, and even if those infantry blocks are going to be killed off pretty easily by F-Tiger's other units in the area, it's going to waste their turns and waste their ability to do anything else and allow Tesla to bring his own units into this area. So I didn't really like either of these medium tank buys for either player, but I do think they're just trying to hold on to these bases as long as possible. So overall, the superpower, it was decently strong, but still not exactly what he needed. He did block in the space a little bit, but again, it's going to be decently easy to reinforce. I kind of miss this. Putting the tank here on this force makes it a bit harder to actually interrupt here. You're now going to have to go through either this tank here on the plains or this tank here on the force as well to free out to the medium tank. But again, now Tesla has his power ready, almost his superpower ready, so he can probably have a very good turn here on day 11. As we roll into day 11 here for Tesla, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but this is in fact the turn I wanted to cover in the one-turn series. This is the turn I saw when I was looking into this game to start with, and it's going to be a very powerful, very interesting turn for Tesla, and one I'm super excited about. So let's go right into it and see how Tesla is able to take a winning position to an even more winning position in this match. So he goes ahead and starts by killing off the anti-air with the Neo tank. He's kind of conceding that he is going to be base blocking himself, but this does build more charge for himself and kind of knocks off a unit in the area in general. He then sacrifices this kind of trapped battlecopter to the anti-air, building more charge. You can definitely see now he's going for the super CO power. It goes for the infantry engagement with the artillery, and finally a pretty bad engagement here. 7-9 going to 2-6 with this tank to get the full power of his superpower. So he goes ahead and pops Ssidewinder, giving 2+ movement to all of his units on the map. And we can see kind of a few different main goals here, right? He's going to be trying to block in this base. He's going to try to get some unit flips, kind of these cities over here. And most importantly, and why he was kind of popping the Ssidewinder to begin with, this infantry is now in range of the comm tower with very few things that can interrupt it. So let's see how this works out for Tesla. He gets some nice engagements here, then goes for this flip of the southern city. Mech's now in range to attack this tank here and finishes it off with his other tank in the area. Tries to kill off this infantry, gets some pretty unlucky rolls, honestly, but again, F-Tiger's on a superpower, so it kind of makes sense why he didn't get those for sure. I believe this was a 7-tank move, so he probably had it with just the power itself, but again, he wants it for this comm tower flip, but he does get the kill here with his tank. Brings more infantry into the area, gets this city flip as well. Brings in more infantry to again block in this medium tank, starts another more captures here. He's just kind of trying to win with income. This was actually an 8-tank move, so this was completely allowed by Sssidewinder, and now completely blocks away the only unit that could interrupt this comm tower flip in this tank here. He's blocked off its only path here because now it's in between these mountains. I'm going to have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't have range here to interrupt the comm tower flip now. Well, he actually kills it off with his other tank as well. I forgot about that on this turn, so it's not going to matter either way. And Tesla does in fact go and capture the comm tower. We see some more city captures here, and we just see how impressive this turn was. Why Adder's so good in general is because his powers allow him to get so aggressive with his infantry and all these captures. I don't think there was a world here where he could have actually threatened an HQ capture, but now he's threatening it on future turns with all these infantry in the area in general. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 healthy infantry that are all, 2 turns away from this comm tower with other, from this HQ with other units in the area as well. And we can see that F-Tiger literally has nothing in this area in terms of vehicles to defend it, so it's definitely a threat in the future as well. We see some more tanks coming in, just getting some more infantry hits. I like this placement of the infantry here on next to the medium tank. F-Tiger is going to have to kill this infantry with his own tank if he wants to continue off this blockade, but again, it's probably not going to work. He doesn't have the unit count in the area like Tesla does. See some more infantry engagements here. A battlecopter and artillery build here. I do like the artillery build on the strong side. You can put it on the city to threaten the base. Same thing with the battlecopter. And we pass it now back to F-Tiger. As we come in here for day 11 for F-Tiger, I am going to kind of speed up the commentary a little bit because the game at this point is kind of pretty semi-lost. You can see that he is 12 units down, almost half of the unit value that Tesla has, and the charge situation is not going to be to his benefit either, and obviously a bunch of city caps are happening as well. So F-Tiger did fight on for a little bit longer, so we will give him the respect to kind of go through all of his moves. He kills off a tank, kills off the artillery. This mech did actually get great value, so that was a good build. We do see a continuation of the blockation of this medium tank. The anti-air coming in and another tank build. So he does actually do a good job of clearing out the units in this area and getting kind of this unit count advantage that I was talking about on the left on this tank over here on the right. But the problem is that all these cities are going to be capped, and it's just going to kind of become an income disaster and a comm tower disaster now for F-Tiger. His main advantage of this entire map has been that he's had 3 comm towers to Tesla's 1, but now it's going to flip back to 2 to 2. So we see that the medium tank is able to get broken out. He does build another medium tank over here on the left, and we pass it back to Tesla on day 12. Going into day 12 here for Tesla, he does capture that comm tower up here in the north and does in fact flip all these cities. We can see now that the total unit values, he's about up 8k total. It's going to be 9k, 10k with these 2 city captures as well that he's yet to do. So it's just really a devastating value trade there. He's exploiting this as well, building Neo tanks kind of to address these medium tanks. I wouldn't be surprised if he builds a mega tank somewhere as well, potentially from this base to help defend and really just completely lock down any attempt to flip that base. We see some engagements here, killing off this tank. The mech is not in range, unfortunately. This tank is though, so we'll get a good retaliation. We kill off the anti-air with the tank and mech combo, simultaneously locking in this medium tank on the base. I think that was a very strong play. He brings in the battlecopter to also threaten this base as well. And again, just pressing with his total unit count numbers. We go into F-Tiger's turn. He continues trying to attack this base, put more pressure on it, gets a free hit here, or a retaliatory hit here on the tank on the forest. Starts the capture while also protecting his own tank on the city there. Continues to lock in the medium tank, uses his own medium tanks to get some nice engagements here, but again, it's just kind of futile with how many infantry in the area to kind of lock these medium tanks out from having any impact. And now Tesla is also threatening the HQ cap as well. We see F-Tiger starts to defend that by building a tank here and putting his own infantry on his HQ. Tesla is close to his power though. He does go ahead and goes for an engagement and pops it. He uses that power to sacrifice a unit onto the anti-air, which allows him to get a nice 9-4 engagement of the unit, which he can pretty much finish off with his battlecopter. Again, being very strong and very powerful with targeting anti-air, something Tesla is very good at in general. gets it down to 1 HP and is able to kill it off, allowing him to now sit on the base itself and capture it. Again, allowed by the power here. So again, a very strong turn here by Tesla. One that could have been in the one-turn series itself again, honestly. Just great use of his powers as adder here. Uses the extra movement to also get to this nice engagement on the infantry, kind of taking away the threat that this infantry had of either recapturing this comm tower or capturing any of these cities in the area that Tesla had. Get some more nice engagements here. He captures this comm tower as well. Now he's going to flip the scenario from having 3 comm towers to one comm tower against him to 3 for him and 1 against him. So again, just more powerful infantry play here by Adder, by Tesla with his powers. Get some more nice infantry engagements. And we pass it back to F-Tiger on day 13. Rolling into day 13 here for F-Tiger. He is close to his superpower. Let's see how he's able to utilize it. Get some nice infantry engagements, finishes off the tank on the comm tower, but again, this infantry is now injured, which is going to stop it from having really any pressure towards these captures. And again, he's still down 10k income. He has to act fast here. He gets a nice engagement with his mech, clears off the space for this infantry to capture the city. The medium tank gets a kill off here of an infantry, that's what it was. And the tank on the road here, but now there's no other units in the way now to stop this capture of the base. So this base now has fallen before he gets any pressure on Tesla's own base. So he's lost this race, and he's also lost the income race. This is not a position you want to be in, but he is fighting valiantly, carrying on. Going to Tesla's turn now, he does capture the base. Also, F-Tiger never got the superpower, which is a bit sad. He does get the comm tower flip. We're now up $14,000 in unit count income advantage, which is crazy high in this game. I think the actual unit limit in order to instantly win the game, I think, is 39, so he's only 5 properties away from that. We do see some more pressure on these cities as well. He's capturing this city. He's going to be targeting this one as well. We see the battlecopters come out to attack the medium tank. Again, I'm going to kind of speed through here. The game is pretty much over at this point. See some more infantry engagements, again trying to pressure the space, but again he's already lost the space race, so it's not going to matter much. Going kind of all in on the right side here. Rolling into day 15 for Tesla, he gets more of these unit caps, does in fact go ahead and build the mega tank on this base. Now there's no way that this tank is falling, or this base is falling. You could build 1,000 artillery, they're each going to do like half an HP of damage towards a mega tank on a city. You're going to really need a bomber or something else to put any type of pressure, and you only have 21,000 income, so it's not going to be realistic for F-Tiger to do that. This base is locked down at this point. We see more of his units come out, attacking these medium tanks even more. He has space to put his artillery in good position to attack them as well. Doesn't actually do that. He doesn't even move any of these units, which is a bit interesting. Yeah, I guess the artillery is actually in a good spot and to protect all these infantry at the same time. F-Tiger does, in fact, go ahead and pop his block rock. He uses his superpower here. Gets some nice engagements to kill off the medium tank, but again, nothing can really threaten this mega tank, even if you block it, and it's fine. You just have more bases than your opponent does, so it's not going to matter. We do see another artillery and battlecopter build here. We do have some nice flips of the cities, taking the situation from minus 14k to minus, 10k. But that's kind of like Chris Paul hits the 3 for the Phoenix Suns to be down 47. You know, the game's already over at this point, but, you know, playing for pride at this point, I think F-Tiger is. We roll in here, day 16 for Tesla. Pops his side flip, gets some more capture, nice attacks here off, builds another mega tank now, so you're definitely not getting the space anymore. Attacking the artillery and kind of closing this game out. F-Tiger goes ahead and resigns the game. So this is a great game, a really fun match to watch from Tesla. Obviously, he kind of outclassed F-Tiger kind of from the mid-game on. It was actually a very interesting start. There's 2 different strategies here. F-Tiger was going for more of these properties down here in the south, where Tesla was going more for the center. I like that Tesla didn't kind of fall in for the trap of trying to contest for too many cities from this one base. He really focused more on the center of that, knowing that those cities are actually harder to flip, and knowing that F-Tiger was eventually going to get this area. I also liked how crafty Tesla was with his superpower and his CO power. Both were incredibly strong. The super CO power early on in the game allowed him to get the first comm tower flip and a bunch of other property flips on the map, and his second one allowed him to get enough power to knock off the anti-air on the base, allowing him to capture it from this city that was on this infantry that was on the city here, allowing him to win the base trade race. That was definitely the most powerful turn. I think even more powerful from his super CO power if I'm looking back on the whole game. And I think it also allowed him to get another comm tower flip, going from a scenario where he was down 1 to 3 comm towers to a scenario where he was up 3 to 1 comm towers overall between both the super CO power and the CO power in general. Also allowed him to get a very high income advantage throughout. So I think Tesla just kind of dominated this whole way, but it was very interesting to see the strategy throughout and just see how powerful Adder really is on a mixed base map in general. That's why he's considered tier 3 on a lot of mixed base maps. He's just having that quick access to power and movement is just so strong on a lot of these maps, and it's really cool to see kind of, you know, a master of work at this ability. Especially someone like Tesla, who obviously only plays Adder on the Global League. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. Again, I appreciate all the support both on this video and all my previous videos I posted on the channel. It really means a lot for me that you guys are checking out some of my replays. Let me know down in the comments or through Discord any ideas that you have for any videos for the future, whether that's more one-turn content or more standard replay analysis like this. With all that being said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Mansamusa, and remember, Adder's super CO power is just as strong, if not stronger, than his normal power. Bye, guys.